Thank you for joining us this week on our FM live interview. I'm Becky Schilling, editor-in-chief, and I am so pleased to be joined with Rafi Taherian from Yale. Rafi, thank you for joining me.
Becky, I'm delighted to be with you. It's great that we can have this conversation Friday at 3:22 p.m. I don't know when you're going to be airing this out, but let me ruin it for you.
I appreciate it. I know this week and the past 3 months have been really busy for you. So walk me through what you guys have been up to.
So, as you know, Becky, this has been a very, very challenging period of time for all of us and for the country as a whole. And this mayhem started uh, in February for us when we were notified that there was a successful transmission of human to human of this particular virus. And uh, because of our previous experience with other type of viruses, SARS and H1N1, and we knew that this could be a major problem for us, and we began a university type of emergency management preparedness processes, and various teams in university came together, and we started planning for uh, when, in fact, there was a successful transmission in the city of New Haven, where we are. And so, if that happens, what is going to happen from our perspective? So, from that point on, it's been continuous planning, response, planning, modification. So, uh, we were grateful, to be honest with you, that to some degree, when this happened to us, was in and around our spring break period, and so some of our students have already left, and others were planning to leave, and so um, emptying up the campus and evacuating the campus was not a major task for us. We did continue providing service to the students that they could not travel, be it international students where there was actually a limitation in terms of their travel, and some other students. And then we started also providing service to uh, those that they were in isolations, and their health was being monitored, and those that were first responders, and um, and those that they were sick. And to be honest with you, we even set up, and we still have a hospital in our largest gym, and we transformed that place into a hospital if needed to be accessed. And from that point on, we've been in this constant planning in terms of other phases uh, of reactivation of the campus, possible reactivation of the campus. From early on, our leadership recognized that the one thing that we cannot put on hold was research, because this research was extremely important not only to our community, but some of this research are worldwide impact. And so we needed to find a way to ensure that the research can continue on our campus. And we did that. And we're going to continue expanding our research capabilities. Um, we then looked at the libraries as the next stage of opening for us, because before we have the students coming back, we need to figure out how the learning is going to take place, be it uh, here on a residential base or away from our campus. We still need to have access to our material for our students, and we need to figure that out.
Yeah. And speaking of things not taking a hold or stopping, I know you and your team are never just sitting around. You're always thinking about what's new, what's next. What have you guys been working on during this time?
Well, so the most important thing for us has been safety. how we can create a safe environment for our campus community in a way that they can have access to what we provide, which is care in the area of the food service. And that's been extremely challenging. We've been and continue to be, as you know, an organization that our expertise was primarily on transformational dining. How you actually uh, create communities, how you create learning, how you create uh, nurturing, actually, development of relationship among our students. So how do you do that when you actually have to be 6 feet away with a mask on your face? And by the way, we still haven't figured out how to eat food with a mask on our face. So, so it's been extremely challenging for our team. Uh, and we, like everybody else, we're trying to figure out how we can do certain things that we did in the past and continue to provide a safe environment for our students, for our staff, and for our community. It's
And
been
you
extremely
a
challenging.
little bit earlier in the week, and you had mentioned that your team really kind of took this as an opportunity to get efficient and create that efficiency within your group. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So we always took pride on the fact that we were an extremely lean organization, that we had found a way to provide exceptional dining experience, memorable experience for our students and for our community, while being very fiscally responsible in terms of our operational footprint and our costs. Uh, and so we had this comfort zone in our thinking that, okay, check that off the list. We're very efficient. But what we learned during this process that you can actually think things a little bit differently, and you can become even more efficient. And that, the silver lining in this whole process has been that we have found to do more with less. Uh, uh, be it right now, it's all happening on the Zoom meetings, and a lot of it is on the paper, but but we know that we have had some attrition, and we think that we found a way that we can do more with less resources.
And then another thing that you had talked about is your staff has really stepped up in big ways, and they've all showed up and they've all wanted to be there and help out. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. And so, in large scale organizations, over the years, you come to a point that a small group of people, they de facto become the people that they are the go-to people. You want something done, you generally go to this group of people because they're going to get it done, and they're going to get it done right. And these are your heroes of the organization. We began actually implementing a technology, actually an operating management philosophy that is very unique and common in Silicon Valley, the agile, and we started implementing that process in conjunction with adding significantly more collaboration into our culture. We actually engaged an organization, MG Strategies, and they came to help us how we can leverage changing culture to increase efficiencies and productivity. And I'll tell you, this has been one of the most rewarding, the most positive experience that we've had uh, over the years of trying to do continuous operational improvement. And so I think using this method of management combined with continuous collaboration and having less reliance on heroes, so-called, that they're the one that carry the weight for everybody else, and therefore everybody, the rest of the people, is saying, okay, we can sit in the corner and let them do it. uh, so this has helped us significantly in moving forward with less resources and getting more things done.
And I know that you're still in the throes of planning, but when you look ahead to fall 2020, what do you envision? What do you think is going to happen at Yale?
Well, uh, what I know that our leadership uh, uh, will our leadership will make a decision in terms of what's going to happen in regarding the students' return on campus, and that information is going to be communicated in the first week of July to our community. Um, and in making that decision, they've asked three committees to provide them with the necessary feedback. The academic and research committee, uh, the operation committee, and the and uh, arts and performance committee, because those are the main things that are necessary for our campus when we come back. And our job is to actually make sure that they have all the resources they need in order to make that decision. So your question related to what I think is going to happen uh, in September, it's one that I struggle with it myself, and our group as an organization, we're struggling with it because there are so many uncertainties that still left out there. So every time we hear some good news, it's usually coupled with something that is not as good. And we finding ourselves keep changing our plans, and we've learned how to be agile and how to be flexible. Um, what do I see is going to be happening in September? Uh, it's probably a little bit different what I wish to happen in September. I wish our students, they can come back in a safe environment, and I wish that we could go back to a normal, some subset of the normality uh, that we have been used to. And I wish that our students, they continue to learn in a world-class institution that Yale is, and we get to engage with them on a daily basis. Now, whether that is going to happen or not, we will know more about it first week of July.
And last question I want to pose to you is anytime that there's a crisis or there's moments of challenge, there's always lessons that you learn, and there's things that you learn about yourself and about other people that end up being really good, positive moments. Any positive moments that you could share with us that you guys have learned throughout this process?
Yes, of course. One of the most rewarding experience that we had early on in our response to the COVID-19 scenario was the fact that that we could continue to play the role that we played for our community, if not even in a stronger way. You know that soup kitchens and community in need, they rely on large-scale organizations and restaurants because they have food insecurity issues and food access issues. And Yale University has been known, an organization, we have been known over the years to play an important role in terms of the food insecurity in the city of the New Haven. So then you find yourself soon after the closures started, that all the restaurants start closing, and our operational footprint went to almost 10% of what it used to be. And the very first impact was actually on these soup kitchens and these outreach organizations in the city of the New Haven. The very first step that we took was to reach out to them and say, have no fear, we have not forgotten about you, and we will take care of you. And our staff, they stepped up, and we start contacting our distributors and working with them. And we started distributing over 40, 50,000 pounds of fresh produce. We start actually producing food for some of those people that they needed food most. We knew that, you know, our students will be taken care of, and we wanted to make sure that the community also is not forgotten in the process. And that was probably one of the most rewarding experience that our team had during that period of time. Finding ourselves looking in our warehouses and looking in our walk-in coolers, going around and asking other people, hey, can we do something for you? There are things that we can help you, we'd be more than happy to do it. And that was extremely rewarding experience for us.
Hospitality at its finest right there. Rafi, it's always a pleasure to see you and talk with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Becky, thank you very much for having me on your show. Thank you.